Consent calendar. All items are considered routine or implemented earlier council action and may be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion unless requested by a council member, citizen, or staff. Action.
Through the chair, I'd like to pull item C, please.
Any action on A and B?
Move to approve A and B.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Item C, adopt a resolution amending the city classification plan by adopting position descriptions for police commander, police sergeant, police officer, police communications and record supervisor, public safety dispatcher 1 and 2, police clerk 1 and 2, and community service officer 1 and 2 positions. Vice Mayor Medina.
Thank you. What I had noticed was under special requirements, all the positions, with the exception of police clerk, have a must possess or be able to obtain by time of hire and maintain a valid driver's license, which is fine. Under the police commander, there's additional verbiage that says, and a satisfactory driving record. Under police sergeant, there is no language to that effect. Police officer, satisfactory. Police communications record supervisor, satisfactory. Public safety dispatcher and community service officer 3 states it's good. So my question here is, A, I believe we should be consistent and there should have to be a either satisfactory or good driving record for all positions that have to deal with the driving. I also would recommend that it either be satisfactory or good, but not one for, some for one and one for the others. But what brings me to my question is, when we say satisfactory, what is satisfactory? How are you measuring what satisfactory and good is? You could tell me that I have 3 points on my record, and that's satisfactory because it hasn't been suspended yet. Well, to me, that's not okay. It should be a good driving record, especially if they're out on the streets and performing those tasks, and that's part of their job. So that's my question on that item.
Comments from staff?
Do you want to answer that as part of the background process?
Yeah.
Chief Telford?
Vice Mayor Medina, as you know, well, first of all, to answer your question, the satisfactory driver's license, it should be first a valid driver's license. Any position that is hired at the police department goes through a thorough background investigation, including a review of a driving history. To answer your question, what would be satisfactory? A driving record that exhibits the candidate has the proper regard for the laws, including the vehicle code. If there was a driving history that would exhibit a disregard, then that would be disqualified from the background process.
Okay. My second point was that we have one that has nothing to it, police sergeant. We have 2 that say good, and we have 3 that say satisfactory. I'm suggesting that we ought to have consistency and continuity with the positions and not have differences.
We can make it consistent and add that to the other job description.
May I ask which way you think we consistently should be going? Is it satisfactory or is it good?
No adjectives.
It would be satisfactory.
Okay. You're the professionals. I just, to me, satisfactory means a lot. To me, good elevates the condition to a higher degree. So that's my 2 cents.
What I would recommend is that we change it to a valid driver's license. And as I earlier, possession of a valid California driver's license. And during the background process, again, we would review that driving history. What would be not a suitable driving history would be something with excessive violations or excessive collisions.
So now you're telling me we want to withdraw and satisfactory? A satisfactory driving record?
Satisfactory is fine. Maintaining a valid driver's license would be suitable as well.
Chair, I'm satisfied with valid because I am not satisfied with the term satisfactory or good. I don't know what that means. I mean, I may think that I'm good, but I may have a history of you know, of a couple of violations over a course of time. What is satisfactory and what is good? So I'm fine with the judgment of saying at least valid, and then make a judgment based on a closer attention to the record.
Through the chair, does this need to go back to the personnel board for their review, since this is changing this, or is this, can just this be done at this level?
Your action is final. You've received a recommendation from the personnel board. Unless you so direct, there is no requirement that it would return to the personnel board. And in my view, this would be a relatively minor additional item for the job descriptions. So that would be subject to your direction.
Yeah, I don't want to belabor this, but again, I hear what Councilman Ibarra is saying, but again, it needs to be consistent, so we're trying to clean that up by eliminating the language altogether, but it's in there for every position, I think, for a reason. Personnel board reviewed it as such, it's gone through the union, it's gone through staff, and so now we want to eliminate it totally, even though, as it was stated, there is no really measuring stick for what is satisfactory, what is good. I know what valid means, and it's not suspended. That's what valid means to me. You could be on the cusp of having it suspended, but if it's valid, then it's okay.
Valid is what the Department of Motor Vehicles classifies your license, and the Department of Motor Vehicles does count citations, collisions, and has a point system that they determine when a certain number of points are reached, that license is suspended. So again, I would just recommend that valid is the bare minimal requirement, and it gives a consistent language throughout the job descriptions.
Well, I'm still having concerns with it. I will go with the chief's suggestion at this time. This is something that I like to have reviewed. I've often brought this up about a consistency and continuity in the positions within the city that have to do driving, and what levels of the expectations must be maintained in order for them to be in good standings and not a liability. So you've heard my comments, but with that, I'll go ahead and move to approve item C.
With the changes?
Oh, thank you. It was pointed out to me with the changes so that we're consistent, but also with the understanding to have this looked at.
There's a motion to move item C with the changes as mentioned. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion second on the floor on the question. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, C is approved.